Hi.
She is running for the Board of Education. I'm Trenton Adams, and
Hi.
welcome to the CCRP candidate interviews. Thank you for taking time out of your campaign to participate in this interview process. We've extended this invitation to all candidates in this race and have found that it has been an asset that aids voters in making their decision. The video will appear on the Cherokee County GOP website, and every effort will be taken to maintain it exclusively on that site. The interview will be shown in its entirety. For the interview, we will ask you around 30 questions, but can offer no prompting. There are no right or wrong answers, only your answers. We ask each candidate the same questions. And if this is all right with you, I'll have everyone introduce themselves, and then I'll ask Mr. Staber to begin asking the questions.
Jack Staber.
Harry Abrams, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, Erica, are you currently a member of the Cherokee County Republican Party?
No, I don't think I'm officially a member of the Cherokee County Republican Party. I'm listed as a Republican as far as a dues-paying member. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Yes. No, I don't believe I am.
How does your political affiliation impact the children of Cherokee County? Second part of the question, how will you work within the Board of Education to make the system more nonpartisan and less divided?
How does my political, can you repeat the first part again? I'm so sorry.
No problem. How does your political affiliation impact the children of Cherokee County?
The political affiliation impacts because that's where my core values come from. So of course that's going to take an import, and that's going to have to do with my decisions.
And how will you work within, how will you work within the Board of Education to make the system more nonpartisan and less divided?
Because when it basically comes down to it, it's about the students. And that's going to be a nonpartisan issue in itself because everybody cares about their child and that's what's most important to them as parents.
What are the duties and responsibilities of a school board member?
The duties and responsibilities of a school board is for the will of the people, their constituents. It's to make policies that have to do with the school. It's to enforce policies. And it's to speak for the people within their community and matters of the school and the students and the taxpayers as well.
Describe the process for raising property taxes in Cherokee County.
Well, you have the mill rate, which I might add is with the 16th highest in the state of Georgia of 159 counties, which has to do with our funding.
What is the maximum millage rate that can be charged?
Well, that's it. I know ours is at 19, I want to say it's 19.45 or over 19. And I know that's not the maximum, but it's not too far off.
What are your thoughts on building new schools versus retrofitting old schools?
I like the idea of retrofitting old schools. Of course, it would come down to budget concerns, of which would be a better value for the taxpayers and the community. I know that some of our schools have crowding issues and class size issues, which is a huge, huge concern of mine. I also know that we do have some schools in Cherokee County that are not at capacity, and I think that's what we need to look at first before we're worrying about building new schools and retrofitting as well.
How do you feel about zero-based budgeting?
A zero-based budgeting, I think that's where we need to start. We need to start at the bottom and work our way up. We do not need to keep adding more money and getting in more debt.
How do you feel about teachers having handguns in class?
I would think there'd be some safety concerns about teachers having handguns in class. I personally am a teacher and I don't think I would bring a handgun to my class. Of course, I teach 5-year-olds and that might be a safety issue within itself. So as where I feel that we all have the right to bear arms, we might want to have appropriate place of where we're doing it. Personally, my pre-K class would not be it.
What is the average class size in Cherokee County?
Oh, what grade are we talking? The average class size depends on the grade. They do it by grade level. You start from the kindergarten is a less grade level. There used to be, usually around, and you actually used to have 2 teachers at the kindergarten level. There was a parapro. And then it goes up from there. Being the highest grade is 12th grade, you're going to have bigger classes in the kindergarten. So depending on what size classroom or what grade level you're talking.
As a school board member, who would you seek advice from?
The people that I'm representing, they would be my advisors. They're the one that put me in the job, and they're the one that I answer to. Of course, I'm always going to vote my conscience on any issue. But I'm there because the people in my community decided that that's where I should be, and that's who they won that position. Therefore, I would answer to them, and they would be my advisors.
We've marked these as two separate questions.
Okay.
However, they are related. How is teacher performance measured? And secondly, how do you think it should be measured?
Well, right now, it seems to be measured by testing. I'm not a fan of that. I think that's a terrible idea. We've seen what's happened in Atlanta public schools. I think there are better ways to measure kids. When you're doing high stakes testing, which basically is what it is, you're taking a tiny little snapshot of what the child is able to do and capable to do at that one moment in time, and you're going to base the teacher and how she's done throughout the whole year on that moment. I don't think that's a good idea. I think there's other ways that we could do that.
What are some of the challenges facing our district now?
Well, we have a few different challenges. We have, let's see, just a few. Some of the challenges, I'd like to see more options in the schools. We have a situation with Common Core. We have higher class sizes than I would like to see that I think are appropriate.
What are we doing to improve graduation rates?
What are we doing, or what should we be doing? I'm sorry.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? That is a great question. What are we doing to increase? Currently, I know that, I know they've started a few different programs that I think are fantastic in Cherokee County. And I think that those programs will help graduation rates. I think they're keeping kids and students more focused. There's new programs that they've started that are maybe getting kids that may have not wanted to finish through high school involved. One of the things I'm thinking in particular is at Cherokee High School, they have a CNA program. There's kids that are going through there, students that are able to get their certified nursing technician certification in order to not only have a job skill, but there's probably a lot of students that maybe might not have finished and have just found a route similar to that. I'd like to see that expanded.
What are your ideas to improve student performance?
My ideas to improve student performance is to get them engaged, get the community engaged, get the families engaged, have a culture in the classroom where the families are invited to participate, where they're welcomed, to make sure the kids have everything they need in those classrooms to keep them engaged.
What are some of your ideas to help aid teachers?
Some of my ideas to help aid teachers, well, that's kind of on my wheelhouse because I am a teacher. What I would like to see personally that would help aid me is I would like to see the focus be back on the classroom, making sure that every decision that's made by the board puts the classroom first, because that's where the student is sitting for 7.5 hours a day. We need to make sure that the teachers have what they need to teach, that the students what they have to learn, that all the support staff or systems are in effect for that student. I think that's what I would like to see personally.
What are your ideas to improve communication with parents?
I would like, it's the age of technology. I would like to see our technology involved in aiding parents, as well as just reaching out to them and getting them involved, knowing that the culture is there for them to be involved.
This one, I again will preface with the knowledge that changes were made to the healthcare plan that are going to occur as of January 1st of next year. But as of today, what are your plans to help address teacher concerns such as healthcare plan changes with the local legislative delegation?
Oh, I think it's terrible if they're changing them from them having choices in healthcare to not having choices in healthcare. I believe, from what I understand and what I've read, that's the issue. I think that's horrible. I'm all about choice.
What can be done to help ensure teachers are better compensated?
What can be done to ensure that teachers are better compensated? Better as far as healthcare, or are we talking
In general.
in general? I think they do have, I think they are compensated well. I think that they have their step increases. I think they're compensated through their education. You get a step increase for every education, for every year you've worked. I think it's fantastic.
In what ways has the Federal Reserve policy affected the school budget?
Well, the Federal Reserve policy, the money coming in from the federal government that comes to our schools, are you asking if I think it should be increased? Do you think we should get more money from the federal government?
No, the question is, in what ways has the Federal Reserve policy affected the school budget?
I mean, money coming in is what the money we need to spend.
What is Article 8 of the Georgia Constitution?
Article 8 of the Georgia Constitution talks about it talks about every child or every student having the right to education. And in a nutshell, I guess. So, and that's a great thing. We should educate our citizens.
Could you please describe the geographic boundaries of your district?
The geographic boundaries, okay. It's a little, I go down to the Cobb County line, kind of the Cobb County line, 92 area. Is that what you're asking, like the roads and whatnot? Okay. And then I go up towards Nice Road, up 92 through Nice Road, and then I cut across all the way to where the new mall is. Do you like my landmarks? Can you tell I've lived in Georgia a long time? I don't know roads, but I can tell you where all the buildings are. And that one Shell station, no, I'm just kidding. And then I head back down Town Lake Parkway. I've got about half of Town Lake Parkway. And then I head back to towards Cobb County the other way. Did I get it all? I know I could have said west, east, north, and south, but, you know, I'm a true Georgia. We just don't do that here.
In your opinion what is your opinion on the Common Core State Standards Initiative?
I'm not a fan of Common Core. I'm a teacher. We've implemented Common Core this year at our level. I could tell you that I do not like it. I could tell you I have concerns due to the fact of the long-term financial, we don't know what the long-term financial responsibility of ours is going to be. On top of that, as a teacher, I feel that there's things on the Common Core that are not grade appropriate for students. I've seen that in my own classroom. Besides that, I think that it educates a certain level of child, and a certain level of child does not represent all children. I think every child learns differently. I don't think it really gives measures for that as well. And I think it could be a great tool. I think it could be a fantastic tool, but that's just what it is, a tool. I don't think it should be a standard that would drive curriculum. On top of that, let me go back. Before I started even looking at, I heard about Common Core, and to be honest, going in, I had a healthy, I was skeptical a little bit about it, just where it came from. I don't like the idea in general of the federal government saying, this is how we're going to educate all of our kids. I think it needs to start with the student, the family, the teacher, the principal, and then at the highest level where I hope to be. But after that, I think that all children, I think that it should start from the bottom up, not the top. And then after I went into and looked at it, and tried to give it a fair shake is when I came to that conclusion. So.
What are your most important interests outside of your current work?
Well, I am a teacher, as I've said, probably a few too many times, and that takes up a large part of my day. I do play the ukulele, so there's that. Outside of that, I enjoy my children and their activities. Is that what you're? Okay.
Do you have any relatives who work for the school district?
I do not.
If so, would you recuse yourself from voting for a budget and other matters?
Yes, I do not have any relatives working for the school district at all. My mother, however, is a retired Cobb County school teacher. She worked in special ed. As a second career, she was a programmer, computer programmer for many years, and after she retired, she went back to her first true love, which was educating children, and worked with mid-PID, severe disability children. And, but she has since retired, and like I said, is in different counties, so I guess that wouldn't really matter.
Okay, now, a few of the tougher questions.
Oh,
Have you ever had any license revoked or not renewed for cause, or been the subject of professional discipline or cited for breach of ethics or unprofessional conduct by any bar association, disciplinary committee, court, administrative agency, or other professional group, or have you been expelled from any organization? And if so, please explain.
no,
Have you or has any organization or business under your control ever declared a bankruptcy or been sued or currently facing liens or other financial issues?
no,
Have you ever been arrested for or convicted of any crime excluding minor traffic offenses?
no.
Please describe one instance in which you faced an ethical dilemma and how you resolved it.
An ethical dilemma. Ooh, I have to think about that. I can't think of a, off the topic. You have to give me off the cuff. Huh. Ethical dilemma. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. I'm thinking of dilemmas where working with others, but I can't think of an actual ethical dilemma. I'm sure I can think of, I'm sure they're there. Just can't think of anything. Let's see. Trying to go back, I'm like, okay, well, no, I can't think. I'm thinking of work situations, and I can't really think of anything. I don't know. Can I think about it for a little bit and come back to it? Okay. Sorry.
Are you currently connected to any outstanding unpaid taxes in any way?
No.
And then, is there anything else we should know that has not been addressed? And this is your time to say whatever you'd like to the voters, or go back to a question that you've been thinking about. It's just a few
Okay,
minutes
now
to do
I'm stuck trying to think of an ethical. I'm sure I've got one. When I leave, I'm going to think of 12 different ones. I'm like, oh, you know what? There was this one time when I was in 6th grade. But
you can skip that.
okay.
Just say whatever you'd like.
Okay, well, I just want to thank everybody for their time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for letting me tell you my views on things. And once again, I'm running for post 5 for school board, and I really hope everybody gets out and votes.